So now, the last thing that you're going to need to know is how to save all these files together, because you have your signals, you have the subtraction one, and then you have your spectral one that you may want to save. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place in a write to measurements file, which is under output, write to measurements file, place it in there. Now there's going to be one minor difference in how you set up this file to make it better so that when you export it you get the proper values. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to show up, to show the box to make everything where you want to place it. So I'm going to go to my desktop again, and I'm going to call it test like last time. Then I'm going to use the next available name every time so that it doesn't overwrite. One header per segment is fine, but I would rather use one header only so that you don't get a header for every part. And then this time, instead of hitting one column only, since the FFT is outputting not in time but in frequency, you need to output one per column. And then, one column per channel. So then you hit OK. So what that's going to do is for every Y value that you're going to have inputted to this, it's going to export the X values as well. So I'm going to take all these signals and merge them into one and then put it into my signals file of my VI, my save VI, so that I don't have to have 20 different Excel files to evaluate. They all will be in there already. So I'm going to right click, signal manipulation, merge signals. Now I have one here, I have one here, and one here, so I have 3. So I'm going to expand this to 3. I'm going to connect this end to this side to the signals portion so that it saves it. I'm going to highlight my mouse over this FFT peaks, and I'm going to select it in the middle one here. I'm going to highlight my mouse over the waveform graph 3, which is a subtraction of the two signals, and click it here. And then I'm going to save the two signals itself, which are already merged here. So every time I run it, it will save to this. And again, you can create a control for the enable and disable features so that it won't save a file every time in case you mess something up and you'd like to do it again. So I'm going to hit run, and then it's going to show and run everything, and then it's going to save the file on the desktop. So here's my file. I'm going to go ahead and open that with Excel. And then again, it's going to show you all the information about it, and then it's going to tell you any information about each channel. So it's saying there's 5 channels that we had. So if you look at this first column is my X value, and then I have my Y value. So this is my first sine signal. Then my X values and my Y values for my second sine signal. And then here, these X values and then this values are the FFT plots. So this is the frequency plot. And then this is the amplitude values of that frequency plot. And then this is the second frequency of that same FFT, because we had 2 signals in one when we went to the FFT. And this is the amplitude for that second one. And then this is the values of the time and the amplitude of the summation or the subtraction of our 2 sine waves. So you can see how it saves it, and then each time there's a channel saved, it gives you an X column. And the reason why we wanted that is because these values right here are different than the time values. So you can modify these all you want. I'm going to go ahead and close out, and I'm not going to save any changes because I don't need to save anything. I'm going to go back to LabView. So that's how you create signals in LabView, how you create the spectral or the FFT from the spectral block, how you can add and subtract signals, how you can merge and split, and how you can take multiple signals, merge it into one, and save it in one measurements file, and still get all the X values and Y values you want exported so you don't have to worry about everything. So that's how you use LabView for this Lab 3. Granted, I'm assuming you know how to use the DAQ, the waveform graph, and the write to measurements file basically right now, so you're going to still have to know how to use those for this lab. I'm not going to go over it since it was gone over last time. You can always watch the previous YouTube videos. If you ever run into errors, you can contact your TA in the lab, or you can also post a discussion or send an email to the TAs through web courses. And if you have any other questions, you can also email your TAs yourself through web courses. And that is it.